When's the
getting
open?
locked out the door, so I was always like running up there like...
Okay, we'll call the
Yeah.
Warren, Washington
Okay. I just want to...
Industrial Development Agency meeting to order. First thing will be a roll call.
Dave O'Brien.
Here.
Joe LaFura.
Here.
Craig Leggett.
Here.
Bruce Ferguson.
Here.
Lou Tessier.
Here.
Ginny Sullivan.
Here.
Nick Caimano.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Wild.
Here.
Matt Simpson.
Here. Okay, a quorum is confirmed. And first thing, we need a motion to the approval of the board minutes of July 23rd, 2018. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Nick. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, next we have our current accounts payable. One note, the Time Warner Spectrum line there, it says it should be $125.26,
We don't have it.
not 07 cents. And the total is $9,126.46.
Oh, no, it's pretty fine. You like it? You got a good big motion?
Yep. Okay, motion by Joe. Do we have a second? Roll call?
Dave O'Brien.
Sure.
Joe LaFura.
Yep.
Craig Leggett.
Yep.
Bruce Ferguson.
Yes.
Lou Tessier.
Yes.
Ginny Sullivan.
Yes.
Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Mike Wild.
Yes.
Matt Simpson.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we'll move into our unfinished business, Greenwich Preservation Group.
Okay, so as you all know, there's been, we've been kind of back and forth with the status of the project. We've confirmed with the company that they are in fact proceeding with their project. The village is taking a position that they are not going to be undertaking any environmental determinations with respect to the project. With respect to the project at 54 Main Street, they issued a building permit and nothing further. With respect to 73 Main Street, there were no approvals or building permit issued for that particular property. So previously, we adopted a resolution approving this project subject to the environmental determinations made by the village. So what this resolution does is go through and sets out what was originally approved, discusses the approvals of both counties with respect to this project, and also amends the prior resolution to indicate that the village opted not to make any secret determinations. So since an environmental determination is required by this board before any financial benefits can be given, we've reviewed the short form that the company has provided. It's a renovation to their existing facility. There's no change in the footprint. So that is qualified as a type 2 action, wherein you don't need to undertake a complete environmental review. So we've incorporated that language into this resolution so that you can proceed. And then if you have questions about where they are, we're working with them now about them providing us with their entity documents, insurance, and things of that nature so that we can proceed to the closing when they're ready. I don't know if you had any questions for us.
No, I drive by there every week, and there's a big fence around, so I can't tell what they're doing anymore, but they've been working there for a long time.
All the information we've been provided is that there's no change to the existing footprint. It's just renovations of the existing facility.
But they'll when I've talked to any of them, they'll say, oh, we're waiting for the architect, we're waiting for this. So I said, you gotta satisfy the Industrial Development Agency. You know, now you say they're...
If this resolution is adopted today, this will be the last that this project comes before this board. We can proceed to the closing.
I'll move it for consideration.
Okay, do we have a second? Seconded by Joe. Any discussion?
So, on page 5 there, on section D, subparagraph D,
The agency approves execution of the agent agreement authorizing exemptions in amount not to exceed $51,408 on eligible project cost of $886. So those are the exemptions of all the taxes and such up to $51,000.
Correct. So if those numbers are based on their application and the numbers they provided to us, based on what they anticipated being subject to sales tax for this project. If they exceed that number, or if they come close to exceeding that, they will need to come back to the board, and you can revisit if you want to extend that, or if you're willing to increase it or not, depending on the basis that they give you.
Okay, any other questions?
On page 4, under J. So it's the private investment is going to be $695,000. And then on top of that will be grants of $795,000.
Correct.
That's about $1.4 million together, but you have project costs of $1 million.
So, I could get you the specific, I don't have the application with me, but some of the soft costs of their project are always backed out of the project for estimating the administrative fee. So basically, so they're not duplicating a cost on their admin fee, an admin fee on top of their admin fee, so to speak. So that's backed out.
Okay, thank you.
Now, the money that they're getting from the Washington County LBC, that's not considered grant money, is it?
No.
So the private investment is $695, is that his investment, or is that included?
That's loans, yeah. Yeah, any monies that he's required to pay back would be considered the private investment. And then we'll verify that figure when the project is completed.
Okay, any further questions?
All the questions.
Mr. Wild?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Just for basic understanding, on page 5, when we talked about the exemption, that's for sales tax, 51,000. So it's just a 1 year. And there's also the pilot also. So the benefit that they're going to get is significantly more than the 50,000.
Correct.
We have an estimate of what the pilot
The pilot,
portion will be.
We will, it must be on the application, I don't have the
well,
application.
I don't even know if that was, this project was approved so much in the past. So, the way the pilot will work is that he will pay whatever the existing, he will pay taxes on whatever the existing assessed value is. The pilot will be, for the first 5 years, 50% of any improvements that are accessible improvements. With his project is interesting because we're not really sure what the assessor will deem accessible improvements. There's no change to the footprint, there's no expansion of the building facility. It could be minimal.
When we know.
I think we have let me check my email and see if we have it. I know we must have done a proposed. Wait.
The assessor's going to control what that number is.
Correct.
We have no control.
Correct. That's correct.
Depending on whether she they lowered it interim that's been abandoned, then there'd be some movement, but if there's a possibility it would be the same as it was.
Should we be approving this without knowing what?
You never know for sure.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. When does she do that?
Well, assessments are due the 1st of March.
That's right.
That's assumed, they have not indicated to us when they want to close. So if in order for that, for the pilot to commence starting the school tax year next year, we would need to close this by March 1st. I mean, all signs are pointing that they want to do that before March 1st, but,
Started working there, so they must want to get it.
yeah, let me see.
And all
I
that
think
money.
it's been a year.
Huh?
Seems like it's been about a year.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
Actually, I think, yes, it's been over.
they got all that money from the governor.
I'm looking through the,
So, no, that must be okay.
Whatever the special district assessments are will be full value, there's no pilot on special districts.
right, special districts are for 100%. I'm just seeing if I have this.
It seems like we're approving something that we don't know exactly what we're approving. But,
We always,
I'm looking back to see if I can, I mean, if you guys want to table it until I can see if I can locate it, or have somebody from my
The
office
pilot's
send it
always
out.
a projection.
Always projected, yes.
that,
The pilot would always have to be a projection at this point. You know that's 50% through first five.
I'm just trying to look to see if I have it in my emails.
given the question marks that are being thrown around, just ask us all to think about that. Huh?
I've been throwing this around for...
I know, me too, but right now, we're in a
Very
situation.
seldom I have a project that I look at every week, and
This is a weird project anyways, because it's an existing facility. It's a rehab. It's not a
I'm just
rehab
trying to find it in my email, but I don't,
Objection.
well, it would have came before you.
$1 billion building come in, and you say, well, that's the calculation.
I'm gonna
they
see
blow
it.
it, and in the meantime, when it's been sitting there empty, then that's not exempt.
Well, I'll try to get it from my office if you...
What's that?
What is it that's for now, Julie?
I don't know, but
We have that information.
We never know that, do we?
No, no.
Where are we getting?
I really,
Huh?
Why does that matter then?
well, because it's...
Only because of the time of the world. That's all.
Well, I'm trying to get it from, I'm trying to get the information. If you want to just wait to see if I can have it sent over. I just don't know who's there right now. What's the phone number? 109-109-4. Probably my car.
I don't know, I could look it up myself.
Whatever they... I don't know who's owned it in the meantime. They must have purchased.
Oh, I know, that's the thing. If I had my laptop, I could send it over.
10094.
Yeah, 0021, okay.
The tax ID number is?
Hang on, I have those.
Right, front page of, probably down.
Never searched by tax ID the right way?
237-5.
I got 237.5.
8,
Dash
23. 432, right?
And there's going to be, there'll be two separate pilots because he will have two properties involved in this.
The one was it's across the street, and they made it part
And
of
I
it.
don't think they're going to be completed at the same time.
Well, an old building that a lady died, and her heirs, she used to go in the house and touch it, and it's been sitting there. But it's a very interesting old building.
Assessed value of 125
So it's
is
about-
125,000.
Excuse me.
Pardon?
Thank you.
Is that the Wally?
That's 54 Main Street, yeah.
For Main Street, yeah.
What is 32? I have all the emails like right around them, but I probably deleted out of my email because of the attachment size. The other one is 161.5.
Well,
Or actually 161.5.
Please, let's not put this off another month. It's a valuable project, I agree with you.
It is.
In the Washington County.
Okay. So in view of the millions of dollars that you pay over there, you would say, or safe and...
Yeah, I'm just, I mean, it was part of the public hearing, it was part of the, it's the, I'm trying to get it from, I mean, I don't know if you want to move on and somebody can send it to me from my office.
The base assessment's going to be 286. So the base assessment's not going to change. That's where the pilots, we're going to receive tax payment on the 286. What the pilot's going to do is any increased value.
Maybe it's under Wally.
Based on 50%, I guess it is, of any improvements that the assessor says. So
I'd be surprised if it's not.
we know what the base value is.
Okay, so, let me-
Mr. Wild?
Sorry, I have an additional question on page 3, section C. They're talking about adding at least 24 full-time equivalent jobs
Mhm.
and 13 part-time. Does that seem reasonable? I just asked the supervisor, like it's just a storefront, right, a restaurant?
Well, no.
Restaurant's also going to be a
distillery, right? There's banquet facility also. There's several pieces of this pie, and I'm not sure when they're all going to come into play. But there is a restaurant, there is a distillery, there is a farmer's market, and there's going to be an office building.
All in this one facility that they're doing now?
No, this is the whole, he owns two or three different pieces of property down there.
so,
I don't know when the stagger is, so that would be about right.
so here,
You can
Oh,
have
sorry.
year-round farmer's market.
So this is a, like, within 2 years, he's got to get all this done and hire these people is basically what this paper is saying.
right, he has to come, if he does not, he has to come back, explain why, you decide if you want to give him an extension. I have email, I found this email from the developer himself, indicating that how he anticipates the assessment will be, and I mean, I think he's a little bit, I'm not sure that they would take this, but he sent this to the assessor's office, that 54 Main Street, which is the restaurant property, is currently assessed at $125. The annual taxes on that lot are $45, $48, and 75 cents. He anticipates that the new assessment could be as much as $800,000 based on his plausible hard costs of construction budget. That would result in a potential new annual total tax of $29,111. Then the 73 Main Street, he anticipates the current assessment is, well, he has the current assessment wrong. Current assessment is $160,150. He says the potential new assessment could be as much as $300,000. And I'm seeing what she sent. I think that's a lot. I'm not an
Can I
assessor.
ask it to refresh my aging mind? Very small. 24 full-time equivalents and 13 part-time equivalents. Aren't 2 part-times 1 full-time equivalent? Why are we splitting this up like this? Or 1 full-time equivalent? I don't understand.
Right.
I think it's how the application.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's very,
30 people.
it's a lot of people.
Huh?
A lot of people.
It's a lot of people, but it doesn't make any sense.
I think some of them are, I think some of the part-times are typically listed as like a seasonal, not a year-round
All right. All right, that makes
school,
sense.
you know.
That would make sense.
I'd like to call the question.
Okay, we'll call the question. Roll call.
Dave O'Brien,
Yes.
Joe LaFura,
Yes.
Craig Liggett,
Yeah.
Rich Ferguson,
Yes.
Liz Tessier,
Yes.
Ginny Sullivan,
Yes.
Dick Caimano.
Yes.
Mike Wild,
Yes.
Matt Simpson.
Yes.
Thank you all.
You were sweating there, Bruce, I didn't want you, I didn't want you to sweat anymore.
Started driving by there and...
That they just got that.
Well, it's important.
Okay, we'll move on to, North Country,
Yeah, bang your gavel.
we'll move on to, North Country Property Holdings.
Okay, so this was a project
Dave.
that was approved, what is this one? Okay. This one was approved and closed back in August of 2014. So our lease agreement with North Country Property Holdings, which owns the real property, says that if you are to get a new tenant at any point in time, that we need to consent to that tenant. We've gone back and forth with the company. Dr. Keller came to the most recent executive committee meeting, explained his project. What was originally approved was a specialized veterinary care facility only, and he has done away with that entity. It was called North Country Veterinary Referral Center. He has dissolved that company and is now incorporated a specialized veterinary practice along with his general practice at the same facility, and so he has provided us with the signed lease agreement. We have the necessary insurance, and I don't know if anybody at the executive committee wants to speak to his presentation, but this resolution consents to that lease agreement that is under our existing lease agreement, that requirement.
So he's moving his practice in there in order to save the whole thing.
He's already done that.
I'll move it.
Okay, any further discussion? Mr. Wild?
I'm sorry, did I hear that he's already moved in?
He owns the building.
He owns the
Oh,
building.
He owns the
He owns
building.
the building. He was down the road a little farther. He was gonna do a specialty practice there, and that sort of fizzled out. So he's consolidating his practice up there. He came to the meeting the other day and said he started expanding his business by bringing new vets and new techs in, and he's getting some of the specialty people back. But instead of being a specialty practice, he's gonna grow his general practice with extra specialty people.
So just the same person, just a different DBA.
He did a magnificent job doing that.
A whole lot better.
And he is advertising for the specialty, they just saw something in the paper.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's got some specialty people there now. He
Yeah.
did that before. Can't believe the SBCA built that building.
You pay off their loan yet? Oh, never mind, answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, if there's
Could've got their money. County took it.
no further discussion on North Country on this resolution,
All
call the question. Roll call?
Dave O'Brien,
Yes.
Joe LaFura,
Yes.
Craig Leggett, Bruce Ferguson,
Yes.
Lou Tessier,
Yes.
Ginny Sullivan,
Yes.
Nick Caimano,
Yes.
Mike Wild.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move into the park business, additional wetlands. Dave, do you want to talk about that, or do you want me to?
Sure, why not? The remaining properties we have down there have got some wetlands on them. We have one business interested in 8 lots down there, so we're looking at doing two things because it might affect the way we market the property, or if we market the property, is to have Deborah Robinson, I think her name is? Roberts, come and did the original study of the wetlands to see if there's any trade-offs there, or any rezoning the wetlands property so we can get that better. So we've talked to her, I guess Tom Garrett's talked to her, he's in the process of setting the meeting with her sometime in September to look at that, so we'll see, but some of that property has got more wetlands than we thought it did. And when we started looking at for the companies that want to buy it, we saw there may be some issues. We felt that we should take a look at it again and see if it changed. The last time it was done was 1994. The The other thing we are doing in the park is that we have a meeting set up for infrastructure, potential infrastructure build-out. I think it's been said here in the past, we have some issues with back up a second. The park we've been working on stops at where Equistock is now, and we have, I forget how many, 12, 14 different lots out back there. We have never built out that property for infrastructure such as roads, sewer, water, all the utilities. So, part of what we need to look at is based on what Equistock ends up doing, the new tenant ends up doing, is figure what their needs are and how we need to. If we're doing that and investing money, should we go ahead and just build out the whole piece of property so we have marketable lots? Real shovel-ready lots. What we have is really light, shovel-ready plot, just light down there right now. So, part of what the meeting's going to be is talk about build-out of infrastructure. There's also an issue with the sewer pipes in, I always get these wrong, Washington County Sewer District Number 1, which is the old Phase 1 of the park. And there's a lot of I&I, which is costing members of the IDA park a lot of money in paying Queensbury, because our water goes to Queensbury, infiltration. The clay pipes are broken down, leaking, getting all the infiltration in it, so that's going to be part of the puzzle. That we think with some potential build-out going on in the park, we may be able to leverage these new facilities, get additional grant monies or EDA money so that we can actually potentially fix the sewer line the sewer pipes. So we're having a meeting in August 27th, start talking about that with the sewer district, the water, and Kingsbury and different people, John Jarrett, to sit down and talk about and try to see the map where we're going from here. We are also looking at Warren County on the other side of the road there, because the county lines go right down Queensbury Avenue there. And there may be some issues on the other side of the road with infiltration there also, old pipes. So we're just going to pull them in to see if there's a need. So we decide how we're going to build the approach to the grants and the EDA funding. So if there's needed, we might have a better leverage if we're talking about more businesses. So it's just starting part of the process, but something we need to deal with now. Some people have said that maybe we should just sell the entire remaining part of that parcel that's not built out to the current person looking at it, get it off our backs, but we'll see. Potential. Depends what the cost for build-out is.
Well, you talk about the sewer district 1, that's not really, doesn't really impinge the new project.
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because your water flows into that sewer district, from sewer district down to take. If they decide they want to take any more, they've only got a cap on what water they can take in those pipes. They could say no new development. That's why you have to deal with it. If you deal with it to get money, yes.
Sorry, that was me, sorry. I didn't know a sheet of paper would make that noise, sorry.
Yes, that's an issue. We're hitting a maximum, and some of the players in the park are paying an awful number in the infiltration.
Well, if we do all that work in sewer district 1, where will that money come? You said we're not obligated.
No, it's not going to be IDA.
Well,
but if we are looking at putting this together a project, probably the municipality will be the lead agency in this.
tenants would end up picking up some of that cost because it would be passed on.
But it's going to be done anyways, and the costs are going to be passed down anyways. There has been some financial calculations that says by the amount of money to bond this may be equal or less to what they're paying for the infiltration action. They get this built on. Now, if we're going out for a grant, there may be grants out there that can get us between 20 and 75%. because the project we're looking at is a agricultural project, it may fit under other programs which have larger funding available.
That's just, today it's just a report.
Just a report. Okay, we'll move into new business. Port Hudson Residences.
Okay, Port Hudson Residences is a bond project that the IDA entered into in 2000. And for this project, at the time, bonds were issued for this particular project, and title to the property was transferred to the IDA. Now we do a lease back. Back then, we did an actual deed into the IDA and then lease the property back. They are, as you likely know, undertaking renovations at a different location that we do not have title to, which they are doing renovations to a building at 319 Broadway. They are financing with Glens Falls National. As part of the collateral for that loan, Glens Falls National would like to take a mortgage on 333 Broadway, which we have an interest in, and we're required to sign on to that mortgage. That's a title requirement, and the county clerk's office won't record it, won't be secured unless all parties having an interest in the property sign on. They aren't receiving any mortgage tax benefit from the IDA. They're not receiving any benefit at all. I don't believe there's probably a mortgage tax due because it's a collateral mortgage, but in any event, wouldn't be giving any benefits under this.
I'll move it.
Okay, moved by Craig, seconded by Nick.
Well, I moved it, that's right. Either way.
Any discussion?
So, where does that put the IDA? We are owners of the property that's a collateral mortgage, not, and the other property, something happens to, we are on the hook for that.
I guess I'm not sure.
It's, the additions are going to 319, are they?
Correct.
And we own 333.
333.
So, a collateral mortgage on 333.
Right. I mean, there's several mortgages. We did this in 2005. This actually is a fifth position mortgage that the bank is taking. So there's numerous mortgages. There's outstanding bonds on this project that are in the IDA's name. I believe it's probably a 20-year term, I would think. This project closed in 2000, so I would think it would be 20 years, but I don't know for sure. So all of our documents have, and are you asking about like the liability of the IDA? Okay, so we're not responsible for any of the funds. We have no recourse language that's included in any mortgage that goes on record for the IDA. And it says that if there's any default on the terms of this mortgage, we're not responsible. We're not paying legal fees for it. We're completely out. If there's an incident with respect to a person and an injury, we also have indemnification for that, and we have insurance that the company provides to us. So, I mean, I guess if we were named in the lawsuit, we'd have to address that, but...
President Ron,
Thanks. So if Port Hudson defaults, and we have an interest, how is that interest protected?
Well,
Are we first in line if there's a...
they don't owe us any money. They don't owe us any money. They don't owe us any money. They have a bond transaction. So, they don't pay us. If they default and they went to foreclosure or something along those lines, we would immediately deed the property back to them, and it would be their problem with their lenders. And then they would be default under all the terms of the bonds, under the bond transaction.
Didn't I hear you say we're fifth in line?
Well, we're not in line.
Oh, okay.
We don't have any, they don't owe us anything, we have no interest.
So what's our current interest?
So in order for them at the time in 2000 to to be able to have a tax-exempt bond issuance transaction. Back in, I can't remember when we stopped doing it that way, but 2000 is before me, but when I first started, we did transactions with a deed, and they actually conveyed title, any company would convey title into the IDA, and then we would lease it back. What we do now is that they do a lease to us, and we lease it back to them. There were some instances across the state, and it kind of became a best practice as to do it in a different manner. So we kind of, statewide, it kind of changed the procedure. So in this instance, it was at a time when we did a deed into the IDA. We have other bond financing. For instance, what is that? Hudson Headwaters. We have a project with them. They did a bond transaction several years ago. They did not deed the property to us. So they were still able to get the tax-exempt financing because we take an interest in the property through the lease.
So just a follow-up, so we do have an interest, but the terms of the agreement say that we don't have any liability.
Right. We have an interest, and the term interest is used from a real property standpoint. So benefits can't be provided unless we have some sort of jurisdiction or control over the property. So the term interest in that case is used as we have some sort of ability to have access to this property via our lease agreement, not an interest and then they owe us money.
Save this date.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yeah, yep.
No, but they're not a not-for-profit, so this is through the IDA, not the CDC.
This was before the CDC, so they went through the IDA. That legislation hadn't sunset yet.
But they are not-for-profit.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, are we ready for the question?
Just briefly, not that it really affects what's on the table here, but I'm part of the lending committee that approved this credit facility for Fund Solve. Just going on record to say that, but I don't believe it impacts us at all, and I would propose that we vote to do this, yes.
I give you my 2 cents worth, given the situation. I would vote abstain. Yeah.
Thank you. If that's what to do, then that's what I would do.
That's my opinion. That's what I would do. Under the table, I would hide.
Okay, I'm going to call the question. Roll call?
Steve O'Brien.
Yes.
Joe LaFura.
Yes.
Craig Leggett.
Yes.
Bruce Ferguson.
Yes.
Lou Tessier.
Yes.
Jenny Sullivan. Same. Thank you. Nick Caimano.
Yes.
Mike Wild.
Yes.
Matt Simpson.
Yes. Okay, employment contract renewal for office administrator.
Oh, yeah, I have one more. Sorry, this was a...
Oh.
So...
No, you don't want an employment contract, or no?
No, we have another resolution.
No, you have another resolution.
So, we approved in June, fire tech sprinkler systems project. This is really, we left out a clause in the resolution. The property is actually owned by Oki Properties, who will be the party who enters into the lease agreement, who has the pilot agreement. So this is just a resolution to clarify that Oki Properties Holdings, Oki Properties LLC will be the entity that we will enter into those agreements with. It's the same person, it's just they have one holding company for the real property and one, and then the operating company.
I'll move it.
Okay, do we have a second? Dave? Any discussion? Call the question? Roll call?
All right, hold on, I got a point of order. Technically, Mike is not yet a member of the IDA. It has not been approved by Washington County, nor I don't believe it's been voted on in Warren County.
Has been voted on in Warren County.
Warren County was,
We did
our
ours, yes.
I have the paperwork for Warren County.
Washington County do it? I don't think we did.
I have not received anything
Your
back from
meeting was the
Washington
day
County.
after.
Yeah, we've got it. We've got it on the slate from Friday.
Okay.
So in case of ABOs gets a little investigative hands-on things, I think we should correct the record.
So half a vote? Half a vote for that?
Unfortunately, zero votes.
It should be based on...
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I can cross all this.
You still ask
Obligation.
questions, though. You can still ask questions, and
You could still run for chairman of the board.
Still have an interest. Would this be appropriate time to ask, do we have a resignation from our board?
yeah, let's finish the resolution.
Pardon?
Let's finish our resolution, and
I
then...
just wonder if we're going to be short.
Right
When
now,
are you
you're
guys
not.
gonna vote? When is Washington County gonna vote on?
Friday.
Friday.
Oh,
Friday.
I thought it had to be approved by full resolution of the board.
I don't know why you didn't do it last time.
We didn't have his name last one, how can we do it?
That was a good answer.
Let's get back to fire tech. Okay, I'm gonna call the question on fire tech. Inoki. Roll call?
Dave O'Brien,
Yes.
Joe LaFura,
Yes.
Craig Leggett,
Yes.
Bruce Ferguson, Lou Tessier,
Yes.
Jenny Sullivan,
Yes.
Nick Caimano,
Yes.
Matt Simpson,
Yes.
Next case.
Okay, correct the record from all the other votes they do. Sorry, I didn't catch you earlier.
Mrs. Corp.
You ever feel erased, Mike?
Ever feel what?
Erased.
No, this is good. I'm not held responsible for my yes votes.
Okay, so we got
you gotta get a motion for
Okay.
Motion for executive session to discuss the future employment of an individual,
Second.
whatever it is.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Ask the board if I may sit in for future reference, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or leave?
No, you can stay. You can't say a word.
If you do, this is
Oh, yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
But
Washington County.
I'm not so bashful.
I am, sorry. You're right, you're right, bullshit.
Okay, we're back.
No, Tom Randall was fired by 4 stars.
We're back in, we're back in regular session. There were no decisions made, no action.
Thank you, guys.
Luke. So we, somebody want to make a motion
Sure.
to, this is to, renew our term of employment with Tammy Bondo at $20 an hour, and holidays and sick time, same as last year.
When does that start? Is there a start date?
It's, my start date is August 21st.
Oh, it started August 21st.
You're in.
We haven't voted yet. We had a vote.
Oh.
We had a motion, did we have a second?
Yeah, we did.
Roll call?
Dave O'Brien,
Yes.
Joe LaFura,
Enthusiastically,
There's a
yes.
lot.
I like
Really?
Dave.
Joe LaFura,
Yes.
Craig Leggett,
Yes.
Bruce Ferguson, Lou Tessier,
Yes.
Jenny Sullivan, Nick Caimano,
Yes.
Matt Simpson.
Yes.
I didn't hear that part, sorry.
Just the lack of enthusiasm.
I would give them more.
Okay, we have, no?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one more thing.
You guys didn't have any vote. I'd give them, sure.
Two more things. That's great, okay. Okay, I received an email, such small print here. Still am having a hard time. Richie Moore, effective August 7th, he resigned as board member of the IDA. I gave him a call and I talked to him, and you know, he had his reasons. It wasn't reflective of his time on the IDA, and I thanked him for his service on the IDA, and so we have a vacancy. Actually, we have two.
What are our two vacancies?
Until Mike is ratified,
Oh. know, if we could just get Washington County to vote.
One Washington County.
They gotta meet.
Well, you know,
Do you meet? You guys meet?
if Warren County had sent it over to us in time, we probably would have done it.
So I had a chance to kind of derail this project.
There you go. You have options still.
So, what
So,
are we gonna do?
we-
Advertise, what?
It's up to Warren County. I think they're in the process.
To replace their own person.
It's Washington County, yeah. not
And
Warren.
but you have to approve it.
Yeah. I think the chairman and the board are working on it.
Okay, good.
Took them 6 months to talk Ginny and...
Okay, and we
Was it all
have,
was made out of it?
okay, and we also, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is James Griffith. I'm the general manager of the Aviation Mall. I'm also leasing rep for Pyramid Management Group. I reached out to Tammy when I saw the advertisement in the CoStar for the CEO position for the Washington County IGA. I'd be honored and privileged, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm a standing target, so I have no problem with that. So
You're a standing target?
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not moving anywhere. So.
My only question is, will we run into any conflicts of interest, or how many?
Yeah.
That's my only question. Because of where he works.
Done with the whole property, but
That's all.
it's unlikely. It's
Yeah.
retail.
Yeah.
But
You're not planning on tearing it down and building something new in the future.
but the CEO's disposition doesn't vote on it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Non-voting members,
Yep.
so while there may be conflict, there are areas where you have to not speak for that conflict, and actually, if you're doing a conflict, you're not even supposed to be in the room with the discussion is taking place. If you declare a conflict, you should leave when the discussion about that subject is taking place.
Right. Now, I just asked the question primarily to hear that, because we're hearing so much crapola these days that you want to make sure on the record that we have discussed it all. That's my concern.
Mr. Leggett?
Yeah, so this is for the CFO, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so your experience on finances, can you describe?
Yeah, so we have a $14 million budget that we work with in the mall. You know, a lot of what you guys are doing here is exactly what we do on a day-to-day basis, except in a different form. You know, we're dealing with these contracts, we're dealing with tenant improvements, tenant construction, meeting those qualifying dates, setting up a project dates, finish, start, and so there's a lot of similarities. You know, Tammy actually explained, you know, what the kind of, you know, the overlay of finance, and, you know, in regards to anything where I feel I might have a question, I'm not going to act as if I don't know. I'm going to look for, you know, any other guidance. So.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to let the board know, I did get an email earlier today of another person who had expressed interest in that position. So we have 2 people to consider.
So at the next executive session, you're going to make a decision? Or before?
Recommendation to the board.
We'll
Not
make
being
a
a
recommendation.
recommendation, yeah. Good. Good luck.
And you have written in,
Yes.
in writing
Yep.
and all that? Okay.
Yep, it's a resume. Yep, absolutely.
Matt, do you want him to come to the next executive meeting so we can answer questions for him?
Yeah,
Since you just went that meeting date, kind of,
Excellent, thank you.
You know, if you leave,
I'll think about it.
I have a question. Can I ask you a question? Business question.
Sure.
How are things in terms of stores?
We're okay.
Are you? Good.
Yeah.
I think you're great.
Well, I just
You're
see...
great.
Well, we need to get some deals turned here in the near future.
And retail is changing, so...
12% of the business is still is done online. If you guys want to go out of session, then we can have this conversation.
Okay.
But I'll be glad to stick around and talk more, yeah.
Good. But no, it's a big deal.
Yes.
thank you. Could I have one more thing before? Okay.
I think that's it.
Educational moment.
Education, yes.
Maybe.
Michael up now?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it quick. So last week, talked a little bit about the kind of statutory basis of IDAs. This week, and Kara kind of touched on it earlier, so it's kind of perfect, is the real nature of the tax exemption that the IDA gives. So the general municipal law provides that all IDA property is exempt from taxes. So in order to pass that exemption on to projects, the IDA has to take a sort of interest in the property. As Kara said, in the past, this was done by the IDA actually taking title to the property, so it was actually the record owner of the property and then leasing it back. Again, I don't know when it happened either, but now the state of the industry is to do lease and leasebacks. So all of our projects that involve pilots are leased to the project, or leased to the IDA from the project, and then back to the project. So at that point, so when the IDA leases it and leases it back, the property is entirely tax exempt. So because IDA property is tax exempt. So in order to do our pilot agreements, we enter into the payment move taxes with the project. As I think I touched on last week, we touched on a little today, the uniform tax exemption policy for manufacturing is 100% of the initial assessed value and 0% of the improved value for the first 5 years and 50% of the improved value for the next 5 years. For non-manufacturing, it's 25% then? 50%, then 25% of an exemption.
Are there any that run 15 years, or is that other counties?
That would be, I think, not in our uniform
They
tax
have to
exemption
come
policy.
for they can apply for an enhanced pilot, and then we've always taken the position in the past to get both municipalities have to approve, or all the taxing jurisdictions have to approve the school and the locate town, approve the enhanced if it goes forward. I'm trying to think. We did I want to say Price Chopper in Warrensburg is some sort of hybrid. Irving Tissue is a hybrid, and that was, and then we involve all the taxing jurisdictions to get their approval. And
So yeah, so once so you could do a longer pilot, you could do a different pilot, so you're entitled to deviate from that uniform tax exemption, but you just have certain additional policies and notification requirements if you deviate from the tax exemption policy. Once the lease expires and the property is back in the unencumbered, back in the name of the project, and it's at 100% of its new assessed value at that point, so all the improvements and the initial base value 10 years later. That's it, for now.
So these are all leasehold improvements then,
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I think our lease addresses those, like the title of the improvements and the timeline for the improvements.
right, because for the sales tax exemption, we need to also lease those items that might not be in a fixture or something along those lines. So we also need to take possession of that stuff, for lack of a better word.
It's our lease says I think the property and the equipment. So whenever we're talking about a project, it's the property and the equipment.
So there's a uniform code, so to speak, right? But there may be instances where we're competing with other counties, right? We also have that uniform code, the ability to deviate. So how do we, as a board, differentiate and compete with those other counties?
Well, the uniform tax exemption policy for Warren, Washington isn't necessarily the same as other IDAs. So each IDA adopts its own uniform tax exemption policy based on its unique circumstances. So, up Warren, Washington, you might have you won't have to entertain certain projects that some, say, Suffolk County IDA might entertain. So you might not have to have certain policies that would be applicable down there that might not be applicable up here. As for inter-county competition,
Could we change it?
Dissuade that.
We haven't had very many of those,
Yeah,
that
I mean-
because we have space here as opposed to being right on top of each other.
No, I understand.
So it's
I
rare.
think generally, if I recall correctly, I'd have to double check it, but I think the law tries to dissuade that. If you're causing another business to relocate within New York State, you have to notify the jurisdiction that it's leaving. So it's not something, New York wants to either keep businesses here or make them move here from out of state. They don't want it moving around in-state chasing benefits. So that's a general thing that the law tries to
But I
dissuade.
understand. So in the instance where we get somebody coming from out of state, we're kind of limited by our uniform code that might be different from other counties' uniform code. Right?
You're not necessarily limited, though, because you do have pretty much full discretion to deviate within the law as long as you put the jurisdictions on notice that you are deviating.
So you can compete. There is conflict.
You can, you
Yeah.
can,
But do we know how much we have to do to compete? It's kind of where I'm going, right? Do we know what the other counties, maybe
Public.
adjacent to these two, are doing for their uniform code?
Public information.
It is public information. We're just curious, when's the last time we looked at the universal code?
we actually did that for another one of the IDAs that we represent, because their fee structure was not in line with most of the other municipalities, or IDAs in the area, and so we raised that with them, and we said, look, you're not really in line with what other people are charging, and, you know, we gave them like a high, you know, a cross-section of, you know, where they were and what other neighboring counties were charging for certain things. So they hadn't reviewed that in some time, so they wanted to get up to speed on that.
So, I'm not clear on something. And I think this subject came up recently, probably in the paper. But I was trying to babble it a little bit. It was a rush conversation. When we used to have the idea, do you have to go to the counties? Did they opt out from approving them and put them in ours by legislation? Our power to...
We have to go to the county. It was, the state said to the taxing jurisdiction, so the local government, the town level. So, look, for instance, Kingsbury is an opt-out. I think there are a couple other ones, but to be honest, I know Kingsbury because we've had a couple projects there. So when there's a project in Kingsbury, we have to go to the town board and see if the town board will approve the pilot for that
So that's only
municipality.
if it's an enhanced.
No, that's for any project that's in Kingsbury.
Because I remember...
They opted out.
We adopted an enhanced policy, and to get it passed, we had to add a rider saying that the towns would have to individually...
Well, whenever we go to Kingsbury, we have to get, whenever, any of those, the first one I did was the park one on the corner there.
So the law is written,
That's not the way I remember it
the
going.
law is written that everyone's opted in, and Kingsbury chose to opt out.
That's how much is...
Yeah.
47.
It was only the enhanced...
Now, there's two or three of them, I remember talking
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah,
that
but
have opted out.
There's
They
a couple
approve
other
everything
ones.
at once.
Yeah, it's listed on the policy, the other ones. Any enhanced, we don't approve, to my knowledge, the board has never approved an enhanced without going to the taxing jurisdiction. We go to the county for bonds, for a bond issuance. We need to get the approval. And the counties have taken the position that they like us to attend the finances, so we'll really talk about it, and then the full board. So we've done that for the county level. And then the retail exception goes to the county.
So the taxing jurisdictions, you know, the town and the schools, we notice them, but they don't actually form resolutions in support or
No.
opposition of what the IDA does.
They're not required to.
When we notice them, they could.
They could come to our... Right.
They could,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Warrensburg School did, I think,
Yep,
with the
yeah, with the Price Chopper project.
Price Chopper project. They had some opinions on that.
We had when I was last, we had a massive mixed-use residential, retail, business coming in, and it would have resulted in a significant increase in residents, apartments, to a school district, and so the school district was all over that, opposing it. I don't know how it ended up, but so they do have means, and if they get momentum and really get their opinion out there, it can affect the way things go.
Present your case.
Okay? Thank you. So,
Yes?
anything else under the IDA? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn the IDA. Second, Joe, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. So we need a motion to go open the CDC. Joe? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay. Roll call. I guess I should have done roll call. Let me get that transition quite right.
Joel LaFura.
Yep.
Craig Leggett.
Here.
Bruce Ferguson. Lou
Here.
Tessier.
Here.
Ginny Sullivan. Here. Nick Caimano.
Yes,
Matt
here.
Simpson.
Here. Okay, we have quorum, and one thing we have on our agenda is approval of the minutes of the last board meeting, July 23rd. Team? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Must have been the shortest meeting of record.
I'm sorry I goofed up that little transition there.
That's, you're fired.
County board meeting. Oh, want to make sure everybody reads and fills out their fiduciary
I did.
I have to have those over
obligations.
here.
Matt, I have to run.
So,